YouTube, MFFLs. Y'all can't tell by Jay's shirt, my background. We about to get into the Mavs. We got the trio back on. We doing it again. Here we go. So today's video, guys, some news that been dropping. Not too important. Not nothing really important, but about Bob. Yep, they finally got rid of Bob. We're gonna talk about that. There was some rumors. I guess they released about KP wanting to lead the Mavericks after this year's playoffs, and we got some Dirk news. They are gonna finally retire Dirk's jersey, and he's getting a statue.
Oh,
yes, sir. So let's go ahead and get into the main news of today. Let's get into Bob Voulgaris. So we finally got confirmation that Bob is gone. Goodbye, Bob. Goodbye. I don't know what took so long, but he's finally gone. Let me get y'all y'all's opinion on this whole on the Bob news. Let me start with you, Jay.
well, it sounded like the reason why it took someone else because they just wanted to let his contract expire.
What? Go ahead. I was gonna say about that. I thought his contract expired already. So why are we talking about his contract expiring now?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I don't know if like front office contracts run differently. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to speculate. But
yes.
Yeah, I really don't care at this point. I mean, I think it's one of those things where we kind of just it fell off the radar because it was like we don't even know how much of an impact he would have with this new regime coming in, if he would have any say so or what the case may be. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, and we talked about this when we had the video regarding the Jason Kidd, Nico Harrison introductory press conference where Mark Cuban was like, we're talking people that are here. We're just like, we're not talking about people. Whatever he said was
we're not talking about people on and off the payroll.
Even though you were talking about people who you just put on the payroll. Either way. So I thought with that he was probably still going to be here. And at that time, obviously, he was still here. But it was kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know how I feel about it yet because we don't know how he's going to, like I said, mix with the new regime that's in here. So I'll be honest, like, I just kind of I didn't really pay too much attention to it anymore. I was kind of over it. Like, we'll see what happens when the season starts. Right. So to see that tweet from Brad Townsend, I was like, for real? Like, I mean, I guess it's just kind of one of those things where it was like, okay, about time. Like, I don't know what took so long, but
yeah, exactly.
It may have been a thing. Initially, when I saw this tweet, I thought maybe Mark is just doing him a solid just to say, you know what, we're going to pay you out the rest of the contract, you know, instead of firing you, yada, yada. But then we see Bob tweeting about how he wanted to be let out of his contract and Mark wouldn't let him. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know what's going on there. But I don't have to worry about thinking about it. I don't give a damn about what happened. I don't care. It's over. He's out of here. The tweets that he let out afterwards clearly meant like he has no intention of coming back. So
good.
I'm cool with it. Get your stuff off. Whatever you want to tweet is cool with me. As long as you don't come back to the franchise in any way, shape, or form, you can tweet whatever you want. As long as you don't have no N-word. So I'm cool.
Right.
I'm cool. Whatever you have to say, bro. I don't care what you say. You can back off anybody you want to. Just don't step foot back in that front office. So we good. So I'm happy with it. You know, obviously, you know, it's one of those things where it's like we really now have a fresh start. Obviously, you can't get rid of the owner, but you know, in every other aspect, front office is kind of revamped and reloaded, so to speak. So we really have opportunity now with Luka getting his extension, and now clearly they're making moves to appease him to some degree. That it's like, okay, now outside of the free agency period that left a lot to be desired, they're at least making moves internally that show that they're committed to making this the easiest, I guess, transition possible for him, and then hopefully being able to continue to improve things moving forward.
What you got, Cuz?
With him getting up out of there finally, one thing that I heard folks talk about was that they think it was during Nico's one of his early on interviews where he was talking about how it's pretty chaotic up at the front office because you wouldn't be too sure of who you would end up talking to. When you call the Mavs for a trade, it could be Donnie, it could be Mark, it could be Vegas Bob, it could be anybody at that point, which was very chaotic. So some people are speculating like that was basically the end of Bob being here with the Mavs. Was the fact that the new guy was like, yeah, it's chaotic and we don't need the chaos. So they're basically nail in the coffin right there. It was good for him to finally be up out of here. I don't care where he go. He ain't got to go home, but he just can't stay here. But and it was some of his stuff was weird. Some of the stuff that he was tweeting, like even asked you what he was talking about when he was like, "Yeah, have owners hiding out for top threes, prospect and stuff." It's like, but what is he talking about? Like, you haven't helped us with anybody. Haven't helped us with to get any top three prospects. So what are you talking about? Because I know Donnie was there to find Luca, known about Luca for the longest. So what you talking about, bro? So it was just good for him to finally get up out of here. Because I mean, there's a place in the NBA when it comes to numbers and whatnot, but I still don't think that you should allow for the numbers to override your common sense a lot of the time as well. Because you have your basketball knowledge, and what you have to do is just find that mixture of numbers and the basketball knowledge, marry them together, and being able to figure out how to put it together and put it on the court for winning. And right now, I think the Mavericks are struggling with that. I think they'll get on the other side of it because at this point, the number is going to stay. It's just being able to be smart enough to be able to do it. And what I'm hoping is that J Kidd and the staff with them being able to develop people really well, that will give them an even bigger advantage of being able to use the numbers to be able to get people into the right position to be able to win. And I think that's what also would be able to help the team be more efficient and play that much better around Luka as well. So yeah, getting Bob up out of here so he can stop sweet talking Mark and making bad deals and everything else is only going to help the Mavericks at this point.
Both of y'all didn't touch the important part of this whole thing. Luka's gonna be happy. You know, see, look, none of y'all touched that part.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, no, listen.
That's all it's about.
I'm still kind of on the fence about this whole thing. Let me tell you why. So when Brad Townsend tweeted out that tweet, actually, let me go back a little bit and ask y'all this question. Because since now we're talking about, pecking order and who's in charge and who's running things. So do y'all remember the press conference when we introduced the new guys and they had Nico and Kidd up there? Mm-hmm. And one of the reporters asked a question and Kidd was, Nico was like, you want to answer that? And Kidd was like, oh, but you're the boss. Yeah, he said it like he kind of reiterated it again and all that. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought about that again when I saw Brad Townsend's tweet. At the end, it said that he is the one that said that made the choice not to bring Bob back. And so I started thinking,
Nico.
Yeah, Nico. Nico. I'm sorry, Nico.
Nico's
the one that supposedly.
That's what I'm saying. That the interview. That's what I felt like, and people have been saying is what put the nail in the coffin. Like at that point, it was decided that he wasn't coming back. And so let me ask you a question: do y'all think that Nico really made this decision? Yeah.
Or do y'all think that? Because to me, it looks like though. Mark and him heard the stories of he's Jerry Jones and everybody else is just filling in spots, but he makes the final decision, and they're trying their best to show you, like, see, Nico is Nico. Look, Nico, he's the guy.
This is not the first time we made that comparison, though. It wasn't. It didn't take this for us to first correlate.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's just funny to me how they're trying their best to say, "Oh, look, it's Nico. It's Nico doing it. He's the boss. Look, Nico. He's the boss. You're the boss. You're the boss. You're the boss." It's like, we all still know who's making the decision. Like I said, why? If that's the case, then why didn't Mark say anything at the press conference? If this wasn't a big deal and you knew that he wasn't gonna come back, then why didn't Mark say anything at the press conference?
Well, first of all, I don't think he knew that he wasn't coming back at the press conference.
Yeah.
I think
that's why I think it was Nico.
Yeah, I think that especially if his contract just now expired, then he may have been trying to figure out a way to keep him around at that point. So that's probably why he didn't want to talk about it, because I'm sure if there was a way for him to keep him around, he could, or he would. So I do think that there was I think there's two things. I think one of the things that probably tipped the scale for Nico to come here was some sort of assurance from Mark that he had some say-so in decisions, because as we know before, Nico has been in the running for multiple front office positions and he turned them all down.
Right.
So there had to be something in this particular scenario that tipped the scales for him to decide to come here. And I'm sure having a hand in decision making was part of that deal.
I think you mentioned that before on the past video.
I think it has to be, because we love Luka obviously, but what other reason besides Luka would be the reason why he would leave a job that he was extremely comfortable in,
and he had full control,
this, despite the fact that he's been offered the same position from different teams multiple times? There had to be something different with this deal that differentiated from the other ones that made him say, "I'll take this one over the ones before." And I'm assuming, well, obviously it's all speculation, but I'm assuming that part of that had to be Mark bargaining the fact that he would have a higher degree of say-so in certain decisions. And so I think it's very possible that Mark wanted Vegas Bob to stay, but if there was a conflict between what he wanted and what Nico wanted, Mark probably felt like this was not the hill to die on. And you don't want to start off a tenure with the GM on a bad note. So I feel like more than likely, this is one of those things where Mark had to say, I'm going to pick my battles with this one. And if Nico really was the one that ultimately made a decision, I can see that. Because my thing is, to the question that you asked, if it was solely Mark that made the decision, he would have already done it, I think. If that's what he wanted to do, why would he have that hanging around knowing that other people are poking at it, trying to figure out who is this dude and why is he still here? Right. If he really wanted to get rid of him, I think he would have done it before. So I do think that it's probably more of, to Will's point, Nico pulling those strings to get it done, because that would make to me would be the only way that makes sense, is that Mark just say, you know what, I'm not going to make that much of a hassle over this and already start off the team with Nico on bad terms over this dude who Luka already doesn't like. He already rubs folks the wrong way. It just hopefully Mark has understood that it's not worth the pain and the issues that will come with that, because you already started the tenure off on shaky ground with not only Nico, but with your star player just signing an extension. He already going to be upset about the fact that you retaining him too. So it's like, you would think there would already be enough stuff for Mark to make a decision on his own, but clearly that was not the case. And so I feel like Nico had to kind of tip the scales a little bit, which is the reason why they decided to just let his contract expire, as opposed to firing him. Is probably Mark's way of like getting some say-so in a decision. Well, we're not going to fire him. We're losing less contract.
But we're not bringing him back.
We're not bringing him back.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Like it's kind of like what you were saying. Well, we can go back to what supposedly. So Bob was tweeting some things out, like Will said, that they got some kind of questionable things. Supposedly, it wasn't really clear cut who he was talking about.
It was very vague.
But it is very vague, but we can kind of speculate who he was talking about. And it sound like Will said, it sounded like he was trying to take credit for getting Luka, but we kind of ran through his history. I
can read real quick if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this mysterious tweet says,
right,
can now innocently read articles on NBA execs covertly scouting a top 3 draft prospect by staying in out of the way hotels and skulking around in the shadows to not tip off the other teams who also knew he was a consensus top 3 prospect. Can't put a price on that type of bliss. Don't know what the hell any of that means.
Bro, it sounds like he's saying that he was the Trojan horse that they sent in to scout Luka, while everybody else was trying to scout him or didn't really know nothing about him. He was covertly scouting Luka under everybody else's nose. Is what it kind of sounds like to me. It's like you're the one that found Luka, and I'm just like, bro, like I said, we talked about it before.
Who are you trying to fool? I'm sorry.
Thank you. Like we talked about this before. We ran down his resume with the Mavericks, his so-called moves. Bro, you was like 1 for 8. Like you weren't out here just batting 1,000, bro, when it came to moves or personnel or drafting and all that stuff. So, because like I said, you could have got Sadiq Bey. If you were so good at scouting, you could have got Sadiq Bey.
God, yes.
And was it and Baines from
Baines from that went to SMU.
Could have had him. Those two guys could have been contributors right now. If you're so good, why we didn't get them? Because Bey is gone. Tyler Bey is gone.
He's already gone.
He's already gone. We don't know if Terry gonna stay because the Mavericks just signed Frank Ntilikina. So out of Frank Ntilikina, Trey Burke, and Tyrell Terry, somebody's gonna get cut.
Somebody's gone. Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get cut. So hypothetically, let's say that it be Tyrell Terry. So that means you're wrong about that. Hitting, we just let Hitting go.
I don't know why I did that, by the way. I didn't agree with that at all.
Like I said, these guys that you now I say Josh Green, we don't know what's gonna happen with him. That's the only guy left that he drafted that's on his team. We don't know what's gonna happen with him. So you're not, like I said, you're not batting for 1,000, bro. Especially when it comes to you, your draft picks and all that stuff and your scouting. Could have, like I said, 2 guys that you could have got are contributors right now are in the rotation for their teams. Key contributors in the rotation for their teams. So that
they about to take off too with Kay Cunningham on their team. They about to take off. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah. Detroit is set up. Detroit is set up.
Yep.
Because like I said, with him, man, it's like he's trying to, I guess, implant to everybody like, oh, look, I got Luka. I found Luka. I'm the one that was out here scouting them and hiding off in these little, hole in the wall hotels, looking, all this old stuff. Like, bro, nobody's, bro. Everybody know Donnie's track record when it comes to foreign players, bro. You're not fooling nobody, bro. Like I said, look at your track record right now with the players we got. Oh, should I say that we had, because we don't have them anymore, except for Josh Green. And then look at Donnie's track record. Like I said, Donnie found Dirk, he found Giannis, and he found Luka.
You wanted DeLon Wright.
That's all.
And that's it.
Good night, everybody. That was all we had to say right there. You said DeLon Wright. That's all you had to say, bro. And Josh Richardson. Mavs fans.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I think COVID hit him.
Well, they made an attempt. That trade, I'm the only person left on this earth that thinks it's not a bad trade. The result obviously was not what we wanted, but the logic behind it, I understood it completely, and I was not mad at that trade. It didn't work out.
You know what?
But I'm not mad.
You're kind of right about that, because if you think about it,
the numbers.
Because remember when I told y'all, I kind of feel for it. It wasn't even the numbers. It's like the logic behind it was, look what he did his last 2 years in Miami.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He had that one bad year in Philly because that whole situation in Philly at that time was not good. You know what I'm saying? And so you kind of chalk that up to the situation in Philly. So you thinking like, okay, you're only 1 year removed from those 2 years that you had in Miami. Yep. So you should be good here. And then on top of that, with Luka, look what Luka's doing with, Dwight Powell and Dorian Finney and Maxi Kleber, all these guys that you ain't never heard of before. He got them looking like key rotation players, like, on the team and stuff. So you're thinking, all Josh Richardson has to do is come in here and do what he's known for doing, playing defense, which his defense has been falling off since he left Miami, by the way.
Right.
And just shoot threes. His threes were kind of steady.
Yeah.
In Philly, they weren't great, but they weren't bad.
Right.
They were league average in Philly, and that was with the situation that was going on in Philly. It was league average. Right. But you look what he did in Miami those last 2 years. He's averaging about 37%. That's not bad. No. So you're thinking, okay, 37%. You play with Luka. Look, matter of fact, key example. Look at Tim Hardaway's numbers. Tim Hardaway was a league average 3-point shooter. He shot about 35, 36%. You get him with Luka, now you're 40, 41, 42%. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what their mind frame was with the whole Josh Richardson thing. But even still, that was on your watch. On your watch. You gave up a guy. Matter of fact, right now, Seth Curry is the best bargain for what he brings to the team in the NBA.
No question.
Hands down. 3-point specialist, number one in the league the last 3 years only making $8 million.
And starting. Wasn't
He's
even
starting.
starting here.
And
He's
starting.
starting over there.
If you think about it too, out of everybody on the team that year that KP got hurt and played the Clippers in the playoffs, I think he was probably the most consistent. Not saying he was consistent every game, but he was more.
Well, that's who they had to stop. That's who they had to stop to end up beating us.
Because I mean, it was a couple games he went off.
Him and Luka were eating. Timmy hadn't really done much, but him and Luka were eating.
Because matter of fact, remember he was doing Paul George. Remember, because they had that whole narrative. Because he used to date his wife.
He was tearing him up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
I missed that.
So they had to put the defense on Seth to be able to slow us down.
Yeah, like I said, he was out of that whole group. Other than Luka, out of that whole group, he was probably more consistent than all them other guys. You know what I'm saying?
And so I think he was the only guy that they could offer someone to get what they were looking for. The only person is Timmy, but his contract would they probably wouldn't want to take on an $18 million a year contract.
And plus, Timmy didn't have a good run in the playoffs. Right. That kind of soured a lot of teams. Yeah,
Seth was the only guy who had a decent stock at that point that they could have used as a bargaining chip to get the guy I thought was going to be a defender that could take on the other team's best player and also be able to make open shots on the other end. So it did not work out, but I get the logic behind it, and I'm not mad at them trying to do that. I'm really not. Yeah. I miss Seth dearly.
Oh my god!
I get it.
I remember. I think we was messaging each other about this, and I remember when we traded him. I was like, damn it. But then we turned around, we drafted Tyrell Terry, so I felt a little better. I was like, you know what?
We thought that was going to be
good. And they even said that during the draft, it was like, this could be that substitute for Seth Curry because he can shoot too. Remember, I was telling y'all, he's like a 41 or 42% 3-point shooter in college. The dude can shoot and had range. Right. And so I'm thinking like, okay, if you got rid of Seth and you getting him probably about the same size and all that stuff, I feel a little better. You groom him up. You know, he's a second round pick. So you know how the Mavericks are with second round picks or undrafted players. They groom them up pretty well and all this type of stuff. So I was thinking like, okay, we good. But man, seeing what Seth was balled in the playoffs, man. Balled in the playoffs. You don't think we could have used that? You don't think we could have used that? That little 45% of threes he was shooting, he was doing.
We would have won that series.
Okay. But him and Timmy shooting like that, man.
Because I think too with him. That probably would have helped Porzingis out a little bit more.
It would have.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a dude that's going to shoot 45% out there. You got to worry about him. And Seth could do it off the bounce. Like, as his time in the league went on, he started getting better as shooting off the bounce. You know what I'm saying? He just pull up right on Obi. You know what I'm saying? Give him out one little curl screen, and that's it.
That would have changed what KP's role would have been because I think Rick was of the assumption that if KP can't do anything else, he can shoot. So let me just put him on the perimeter and hope that we can get something out of him. But if they would have had Seth, they would have had that additional perimeter shooter.
Yeah.
And you can at least give KP the opportunity to do more things. Mid-range and then lock, maybe key on defending more and not be so dependent on I have to score this many points and be in your own head so much that you can't really function. Because I think one of the biggest things with him, and I think we've talked about this before, is that he puts so much pressure on himself because he knows what is expected of him that he kind of gets in his own head a little bit. If you have that other scorer that is able to consistently put up those points, then it says, hey, we don't need you to do this. If you can do it, cool. But what we really need you to do is focus on the defensive end and make sure you keep these guys out the paint. And that gives him something that he can kind of get excited about and get going. But because we weren't getting nobody else contributing on the offensive end, it was like, he can't do nothing in the post. So let's just put him on the wing and see if he can do something in the corner. Or let's put him over here and see if he can shoot. But if they would have had a guy like Seth, who we know we're getting 14 and 16 points a game from, that takes pressure off of Luka, takes pressure off the KP, and we probably win that series if we had that opportunity.
Speaking of KP, we can turn the page now. Of course, Cape. It was an article that came out. I think it was by probably by Brad Townsend too, wasn't it?
No, it was a podcast.
Oh, okay, podcast.
I think it was Tim and
It was,
I think it was Tim Mann that said it though.
I think
it was the Hoop Collective podcast with Brian Windhorst, Tim McMahon, and Tim
okay, then
that's a great podcast.
Yeah, that then if it was on there, then okay, this is real then. So KP wanted to get traded after the first round exit. We can definitely talk about this one, man. There's a lot to take out of this one. Of course, later on, he came out and said that he's comfortable. He wants to stay. He does not want to get traded. Yeah, exactly. That which is what we're gonna touch on. Yeah. Like Jay just said, the whole how he was being used. I know we've had time now to kind of sit back and kind of just let everything marinate and kind of think about it, sleep on it, as they say. Yeah. I know I had the pitchforks and the torches out. I was ready to get them out. Now I'm kind of on y'all side now with the let's see how things turn out with the new coaching staff. Yeah, with the new coaching staff and all that stuff with the development. One thing too, man, before I go in more into that, we are really, really, really banking on the fact that Jason Kidd can unlock a lot of these players, man. Yep. Now, I understand he had the, Giannis and he had Chris Middleton, those guys, playing at their best. But it wasn't just them that he was coaching. There was a lot of other players who are kind of talking negative. You had the Larry Sanders and Jabari Parkers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Other talented players that could be on par talent-wise with Giannis and all of them that weren't speaking glowingly about him. And I feel like right now, I guess because we hold on to the Giannis and the Chris Middleton part, we just ignore the rest of that. Which, like, for me, I need to see it first. Because I'm still on the fence about Jason Kidd. Y'all know that's my favorite point guard of all time, player-wise. But coach-wise, I got some trepidation, bro. I need to see it first before I'm just like, you know what? We got Jason Kidd. We're fine. You know what I mean? Because whether we want to believe it or not, no matter how we feel about Rick Carlisle, he was a great X's and O's coach. Everybody in the league knows that. Jason Kidd's not known for X's and O's. Like, I think we talked about it before. We don't know what his playing style, what we do now, but we didn't know what style he was going to coach and play and stuff because right now he's trying to find a way to fit a system that's going to be, it's going to help Luka and KP. You know what I'm saying? To where KP is being utilized and the ball is not in Luka's hands as much, which is why you heard people kind of asking, are you going to implement a lot of the scheme that they're playing over in Slovenia in the Olympics, where Luka didn't have the ball as much? He was off the ball a little bit more, which kept him a little bit more fresher. You know what I'm saying? And so you have Igor, who coached him over in Europe, which I think they had the same style, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think because it's a lot of people too that said Igor is a very brilliant offensive mind. Yeah. I feel like if you're going to have him kind of implement a system, then I might feel a little bit better. He's more familiar with the type of style and type of system that Luka thrives in. He's seen a player like KP before. Hopefully he can get something kind of going to where both of them can thrive in the system together, which I guess is why they're going to the space and pace, which is going to help it kind of pick up a little bit. The pace kind of pick up a little bit. But like I was saying with the whole Jason Kidd thing, like I said, I'm hoping that he learned from his past mistakes, and I'm hoping that he can find a way to utilize KP, man, because that's a lot of money we wasted if that's not the case, man. It's a lot of money. And we're talking about a guy, a brilliant mind like Rick Carlisle, offensive-wise, that couldn't unlock it. What can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Coach Sweeney's on that development staff. You saw what he did with Sadiq Bey. I'm hoping he can kind of take that type of mind frame too over here with KP, man. Can we get KP focused? Can we find a way to utilize him? And it also is going to take KP to kind of change his game up too. It's like, bro, that whole unicorn moniker, bro, you got to get rid of that because everybody can do what you can do now. It's time for you to adapt your game in a style that can fit to today's game. And when I say today, I'm talking about today, not 3 years ago, because the game is constantly changing. You have to fit it in today's game. Like I could see him being a 7'3" Rip Hamilton where he's coming off of curl screens at the elbow and then either you pull up at the elbow or you do one dribble, you at the basket. You know what I'm saying? Just like that, we used to do Dirk. Let him operate around the elbows. I mean, just kind of find ways to kind of just move him around where it's not just like, okay, we're gonna post him up, get down low. You just turn around and try to shoot over the guy and hope we make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we can get y'all. What y'all think about that whole the KP thing, man? The story about him possibly wanting to leave after the first round.
I mean, I get it. He does want more. He wanted or wants a bigger role. And the fact that it was like Rick being the issue and not Luka being the issue was a huge bonus. Which I mean, we pretty much could figure that much. Wanting to do more of the more game plan, and he just sitting in the corner, been in his mind. So I think
not even that. It's like even the parts where when Luke was on the bench and they didn't run the ball through you at all. That was the part that was like, okay, what's going on here? That's happened a lot of times.
And that, to me, I think that makes it, to me, understandable why he would want to get traded. Say, it's not even on court, and y'all still not giving me a chance to run the ball through. Because, I mean, he struggled, but he still has enough talent to run the ball through him. I don't care what they say. He still has the talent for the ball to go through him. Because one thing that we've talked about before is even with like James Harden, these different stars, different players. If you're known for scoring, all right, if you're having an off night, you need to figure out a way to affect the game a different way. All right. For KP, he had been struggling. So for him to affect the game, it could have been more rebounds. It can be more facilitating. Being able to get right there in the middle of the court. He's 7'3". He can see basically the whole court easily over everybody. So being able to get put the ball at the right spot. I think that would have been able to get him going alone just because the ball's in his hand that much more. Plus, it gets Luka off the ball. So you're now saving Luka as well, but also Luka had to put up 50 points to give us a chance in the first half. But still, with the ball going through KP, I'm not saying like every time, but a little more often than what it was. I think they would have been able to keep his head in the game, also make him feel that much more important to be able to help him as well. Because at that point, you're not just focusing on him scoring, you're focused on him affecting the game a different way. And I think that will actually help him score the ball more, because now he won't be thinking about just scoring now. He'll say, hey, I gotta let me make sure I get this right pass. Make sure be able to get the ball where it's supposed to.
Pass out of double team.
Exactly. Like, and it would only because if he did it consistent enough, I think his ball control would have been that much better, because there were some weak plays where he lost the ball easily. But I think a lot of that is because he hadn't had the ball in his hand so much, So he ended up being that weak with it, So I think just the ball going through him a little bit more will only help him.
Because it's funny you said that. KP is one of those players, like you said, if he doesn't touch the ball, he can't get into a rhythm. I'm not talking about like shooting it. Just let it at least go through you to kind of get a feel in a rhythm of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
like a star receiver in football.
Yeah. So it's like you kind of like the TO of basketball. Remember TO had to touch the ball at least like the first
get him early. You gotta touch it. Let him get the ball early on, and that gets him into the game, and he can have a big day.
Yeah,
have a big one.
So what you think, Jay?
So I agree that I have no issue with him wanting to be traded, because if I'm getting paid $30 however much $1 million a year and you're paying me to stand over in the corner, that's it's borderline disrespectful, to be honest.
Hey, you know what though?
Yeah.
When you say that, I was just sitting there thinking when y'all said that, boy, DeMontis better be careful, bro. Like Rick better use DeMontis. Man, listen. But
no, that's not wrong. I think so. I get why he felt the way he felt, and I think we all three agree that we're not all completely sold on Jason Kidd. It's just what option to do. I mean, and like we hire somebody else right now, so it's like this is the card that we're dealt. So we kind of have to see where it's going to go. I think we all kind of have that wait and see approach to determine whether or not it was a good fit or not, because he's got a lot of making up to do as far as things that he's done in his past, as far as coaching and personal, but just keeping it on the court. He's got a lot of things that he has to make up for as far as things that he did not do well the last time he was a coach. So you just hope that he does learn from his mistakes and is able to apply the things that he learned from being under Frank Vogel for 3 years and be able to use that to apply here.
Right.
One thing about KP, like just talking about ways to kind of unlock him, like you talked about, Rel, just trying to figure out ways to have him fit. Like if you look back on the times that he was dominant, not so much when Luka was out, because when Luka was out with his ankle issues, KP really stepped up. But when they worked well, Rick had them staggered to start, right? Like obviously they both started, but then like
one in,
Luka would come out and then KP would stay in, or KP would go out, Luka would stay in, and that little bit of time that the offense ramped through KP, I felt like he had his confidence because he knew they're going through me, and that allowed him to kind of get into a rhythm, and he was able to sustain, throughout. Now, obviously, we'd be a dead horse with this before, but this is his first season coming in healthy without having to rehab anything, and there's also opportunity for them to look at what has worked versus what didn't work. And I assume that Jason Kidd's getting feedback from Luka and KP on, hey, what did you like in the offense at this point? What did you not like? What do you want us to change? What worked? What didn't work? Right. And I think with Luka, I think we talk about this too. Luka know when you're not a dog, Luka don't like. You ain't even.
We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that. So I think that Luka kind of checked out on KP because he saw that mental fragility that KP has that Luka does not have. And so I think when they were friends before they became teammates, he admired him from afar because of what he did in New York with everybody loved him, and he was the unicorn and all this and all that. Luka didn't know that when the pressure came on, he didn't necessarily know how to respond because he never really had that kind of pressure.
Not in New York.
Not in New York.
Not that kind of
pressure. Right. So, and then, when there was time for him to potentially get the pressure, he got hurt and then he went out. So I think Luka kind of realized, like, oh, this dude I'm cut from the same cloth as I am. I thought he was.
We all did.
When he realized he wasn't, he was like, oh, well, I'm done with this dude. Right. So I'm hoping that with this reset, Luka can kind of come in with a more open-minded approach and be willing to say, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help get this dude involved. So you have to kind of, I don't want to say stroke his ego, but you have to get him, make him feel good. Like, because it seems like he's very quick to kind of recluse and kind of fall into a shell. And when he does, you're not getting it out of him. So keep his energy up, keep his morale up. If they can go back to staggering those minutes a little bit to make him feel like, okay, I have to produce at this point because Luka's not in the game, I think that's going to be helpful as well. But man, like, he has to be more mentally strong because there's so many teams that look at him and, like Will talked about how weak he is with the ball. It's like, bro, that should not happen to you. Like, you've been playing big, you've been tall all your life, bro. You should know when I get the ball at a certain point, I cannot bring the ball down.
Nope.
I have to keep the ball up. So when you do that and they strip you, it's like, it's your fault. Like, instead of you being all mopey and like, oh, I should have been called for a foul. Like, bro, no, you should never put the ball on the ground. Like, it shouldn't go past your like, when you hear it, it's it. Like, it should not go past your chest area. So it's just fundamental stuff like that I think he loses sight of when he's not in his own, when he's in his own head. And
right.
So there's a lot of stuff that's got to get cleaned up. And I'm hoping that, at least from that perspective, Jason can be more of a player's coach in that regard. I think that's an element that Rick didn't really have. I think Rick kind of applied the same thing with KP that he did with Jay Rich. Like, once your circuits are fried, I'm not putting you in the game no more. But because KP get paid $33 million, he had to put him in. But I'm just going to, instead of having you sit on the bench, I'm going to have you sit in the corner because I have to put you in the game. So I'm hoping that this new regime will have a reset. That reset, breath of fresh air, will kind of help KP feel more wanted, and just because there's some guys whose ego, whose moxie is kind of weak. They're not alpha males, so you kind of have to stroke their ego a little bit to get them going.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's one of those guys. So if they can figure out a way to unlock that, that's going to be a key. And I think he does have the ability to be a number 2.5. If
I was crazy, I thought you were gonna go full 2.
Nah, 2.5.
You know what? We need to see it first. Like we said before, he showed flashes in the bubble, man, that he can be a legit number 2, damn near number 1.
Right.
Because like kind of what y'all was saying too, KP, I think he understands going into this season. This is it. There's no more excuse, because he had an excuse the last maybe few years of, okay, he going in from rehab, or he had surgery. Because think about it, since being here, he's never started the opening game of the season.
Right.
So,
exactly.
this is gonna be the first time, so I think he understands that. Look, man, this is gonna be it, and I think Dallas knows too, because if Dallas tries to trade KP, like say he comes in and still kind of in, and they want to trade him, his trade value is not gonna get any higher. So you're gonna get pennies on a dollar if you trade him around that time or whatever. And so, like I said, with KP, man, he just needs to understand, because he always had this idea that he was the most unique guy in the league. Nobody can do what I can do at this side. Now everybody can do it. It's just like saying like Steph Curry. Oh, nobody can shoot like Steph Curry. Now you got everybody can shooting half court at 45% now. You know what I'm saying?
KP, he got to stop doing that too.
KP got to stop doing that. But like I said, y'all been saying, I've been hearing a lot of other people saying he's healthy. So right now, I am not in a position to say like, oh, I think this is gonna happen this year at the Mavericks, because I don't know. We need to see, because a lot of questions. I'm gonna probably do a video on that one day about the questions we had with this team going into the next season, because there's a lot of questions. It's a lot of hope that this turns out this way or that way or whatever, but we don't know for sure, because we don't have a track record of this happening before. But like I said, we go from a coach that's an X and O's guy, one of the greatest X and O guys in the league, to a coach that's nobody can figure out right now. And so we're with Jason Kidd, the only thing we're grasping on, we're banking on the fact that he's good at developing star players, I guess we can say, because he did develop Giannis and Chris Middleton. And like I said, younger players, Sweeney developed Sadiq Bey. So that's the only thing that we're pretty much holding our hats on right now. But I don't know. I'm in a wait and see mode right now with KP, man. Y'all got anything I want to add? Anything else you want to add to this?
No, that's all I had to say.
All right. Yeah. No, please, good luck. So turn the page to another great 7-footer. As y'all know, news has came out that they are going to be trying their best this year to do a jersey retirement for Dirk Nowitzki and a statue. So we can go ahead and talk about that, guys. Jay, I'm gonna go with you first, because you said you don't think that it'll happen this year, right? You feel like you don't think it'll happen this year?
I'll say I hope it doesn't happen this year, and I just feel like there should be more of. It doesn't seem like it's certain, and usually like this stuff is like set in stone. Like they announced this, like like Tim Duncan's has been announced already. Like they make these announcements like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As far as like the season's about to start, we having the retirement on this date. Like I think the Celtics are doing Paul Pierce's jersey against the Mavs this year.
Oh yeah.
So like they announced that like a long time ago. So the fact that they still aren't sure yet, I feel like it's not going to happen this year. I just hope that it's going to be the toughest ticket probably since the ring ceremony game. Like that's like maybe not the ring ceremony. It'll be the toughest since either that one or the Dirk retirement. One or two.
I think the Dirk retirement.
Yeah, maybe the Dirk retirement. which I still don't know how that is that. But I'm hoping just because as a fan that he gives us more notice than this.
Like, yeah, we're thinking about doing it this year. Like, when?
Yeah.
Because
I need
it's
to
like
get my bank account ready to get them tickets.
Well, because it's like every game that is on the schedule now, tickets have already sold for. So it's like, what you're telling me is I really don't have a shot to like, hey, tickets for this game when Dirk retirement is going to happen is going to go on sale at 10 a.m. Like, I think everybody should have the opportunity to do that. But because you have not picked a particular date, it's like, it could be February 18th against Utah, and it's like folks already got tickets to that when they were cheaper. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good point. I didn't think of it like that. You're right. That's a good point.
They need to do a better job of rolling it out, and so because they have not done that, I don't think it's going to happen this year. It could. I think it'll be a bad decision to do it this year, unless they give a specific date before tickets are available. That's why when they did the whole Paul Pierce thing, they did it early. Everybody knew, okay, we're retiring his jersey on this date. Yeah. So when tickets go on sale, I got to get tickets to this game. But now it's like, I don't know. I hope from Mark's a smart businessman. I would hope that he would know that doing it this way is probably the best way to do it. So I'm hoping
that's the one thing he is good at, is probably business. That's about it.
Right. So I'm hoping because of that reason, I'm hoping that he does not do it this year.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, bro. What you think, cuz? I ain't even. You kind of stumped
me. I feel the same way. Like they need to give us a good heads up when it comes to it. Because was it Derek Harper? They did it for Derek Harper when he retired his jersey. They gave us a good notice to be able to get tickets and everything for that. So with this being Dirk, so you just can't do like Michael Irvin just ended up doing it 2 nights or 5 days before the game. Retirement.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were trying to do
yeah, because it's just craziness. So yeah, I don't have tickets yet. I do hope that it end up being like next year. So I'll be able to get tickets, to be able to plan for it and everything else. We know that they've been working on a statue. Well, not like confirmed, no, but basically have a feeling that they've been working on the statue for a long time.
I feel like they've been talking about the statue longer than they're talking about Dirk's retirement jersey. Because I think with the jersey, everybody already knew they were going to retire a jersey.
Yeah, that's not.
I think they've been talking about a statue for like 2 years now.
Yeah, and it only makes sense that he's going to get one. I mean, 2011 basically just cemented it that he was going to get one. But yeah, I think that I agree with Jay that because of the lack of publicity with it, you have to do it. You have to do it next year, to where you'll be able to let folks know, everyone basically have an opportunity to be able to get the ticket. Because at this point, the folks that do end up having the ticket, that's going to be the thing. Is like, do I want to go or do I want to make $300 off the ticket?
More than that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's just nosebleed.
Number after.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
3,000, maybe 3,000, probably.
Yeah, like it's gonna be stupid. But still, like, it's only as big as the area is when it comes to the Mavs. He does have to be able to give the opportunity for all Mavs fans a chance to be able to get into the door. Yeah, not everybody's gonna get one, of course, but to do short notice for the best, greatest Maverick at this point, as long as you don't ask him who's the greatest Maverick at this point, it only makes sense to actually do it next year or so.
You know,
and when does he become eligible for Hall of Fame?
3 more years, I would think. He's been retired for 2 years, so I think it's 5.
I think it's 5 in the NBA. Yeah.
Okay.
I just had a question. Why does it have to be at a game? Like, why can't they just do this like they did the parade? Well, they did a parade. Like, hey, we're gonna have a ceremony on this day. Now, it don't have to be the day of a game. It could be any day. It could be like on a weekend one day.
You talking about the jersey being retired or the statue?
They can do all of it in one day. Yeah,
now, you know what?
In one day.
I feel like if they did something like that, that'll be strictly for the season ticket holders.
That'd be a horrible decision if they did that.
Because they give a lot of those liberties to the season ticket holders.
But I don't know if that would be, maybe not. I don't know if I would consider that a season ticket holder thing because, I mean, if that were the case, then there would never be.
Not the statue. I think the statue could be open to anybody. Like, y'all just try to pack the plaza and watch the ceremony of the statue, but like the jersey, I think that was something they would probably, if you talking about that way, I think they'll probably end up doing something like that for the season ticket holders, like they do.
But that's not normally how they do it though. Like in the jerseys that they retired before this one, they didn't do that for season ticket holders. That was like,
well, no, that's what I'm saying. Cause they did those. Yeah. They did those during the game. Like I'm talking about, if you talking about doing it other than not doing that a game, they'll probably do it to where it'd be like a season ticket holder thing, and then
that'd
you gotta
be dumb as hell though.
You know,
that'd be so dumb because like, let's say, okay, I'll give you a proposition. Let's say they said, okay. Just like they did the Mavs when they had the championship parade. Mm-hmm. Let's say they said we're gonna do a dirt parade. You gotta pay
$41.
$60. I was gonna say $41, that's too cheap. Let's say you pay like let's say
$21.
Well, let's say there's tiers, right? Let's say if you want to see both, if you want to be around AT&T Plaza where you can get to see the statue unveiled, you gotta pay more. If you want to be like along the parade route, you can pay less. But like there's, let's say there's tiers, but whatever. Let's just say if they did that would like, because to me, I mean, I get it, it's dark and whatever, but Mark is a businessman. If he can make money off this, I'm pretty sure he would do that. So why can't it just? And I'm not talking about Dirk in general. I'm just saying anybody.
Yeah.
Why do they limit these to just the halftime of a basketball game when halftime is like what 15, 20 minutes? Why wouldn't they just do it to where it's like, yo, like you said, Will, this is Dirk Day. Yeah. Like his birthday's in June. Do it on his birthday. Everybody come out. Just have a parade route from wherever to the ends at AT&T
down the Whiskey Way.
Yeah,
down the Whiskey Way to the plaza. They have the statue already there. They unveil the statue, and then season ticket holders, right? If you're a season ticket holder, you can go in the arena, and watch us hang up the jersey. Yeah. If you're not a season ticket member, you can stay in AT&T Plaza and watch it on the big screen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jay,
Mark, call me, Mark.
Listen, if you get paid for it, bro, let's break your boy with $1, man. I'm just saying,
it only makes sense.
You so like I just is like you have the opportunity to set the standard for like this is how it should be done.
Hey,
y'all
you
got
know what?
Paul Pierce getting retired at 15 minutes at halftime. We giving Dirk a whole freaking day.
Listen, if you do something like that for Dirk, bro, then I think Luka would see that and be like, okay.
That's how y'all take care of our people.
Yeah, because they already showed him that they care about him. Like when they flew down to Slovenia for him to spend time with him, his family, his city, his country, and you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. Like that right there, and see how you doing, Dirk. It's just like God. Like when I did the 3 reasons why I think Luka wouldn't leave. I said that. I said the Dirk effect. Yeah. Dirk can show him, look, man, look how they treat you, man. If you do, you know what I'm saying, you with this franchise and you do what you're doing within this franchise. Look how they treat you. Look how they doing the players who aren't on Dirk's level. How they bringing them back and having them part of the organization. Like he's looking out for y'all when y'all leave the organization. Like that type of stuff like that. And Luka can see that and be like, okay, like I see what they're doing here.
Exactly.
Man. I see what they're doing.
I agree.
But that's a good idea though, bro. I didn't think about
Mark,
that.
call me, bro. I'm telling you, we can make this happen.
Like
bro.
really show Dirk that, like you said, had that parade go down the Whiskey Way. You know what I'm saying? Had a little ceremony go right down no Whiskey Way.
Yeah.
And just end right there. And it's like, yo, we doing this, we unveiling the statue. And then, like you said, all the season ticket holders can go inside the arena to watch the banner again. I mean, watch the jersey get raised. And if you're not a season ticket holder, you can stay in the plaza and watch it on the big screen.
Hey, that's a good idea, man.
Come on, man. Marketing was my major, baby. Let's get it popping.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, man.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, that's a good idea. One more thing too, guys, before we leave. This is big, huge news. This is breaking news that just came in. I got it right here on my phone.
Not fresh off the press.
Hot off the press, bro. Patrick Beverly admits that he got toasty roasty by Luka. I repeat, toasty roasty by Luka. Air fried, deep fried, Texas State Fair deep fried. Oh man, listen.
Barbecue chicken alert.
Barbecue chicken alert. finally admit that he got cooked out there by Luka, man. That's the breaking news right there. That's really all this video is about.
The hardest person he's ever had to guard, he said.
And they showed different pictures of him guarding all these other key like top players in the league, and he said Luka was the guy. Luka was the guy.
He took his heart. That's why you tell somebody you too small. You take it.
Now listen. With all that being said, is Patrick Beverley gonna shut up now?
Nah. What?
Look at it. Luka got to work.
Well, he in Minnesota, so he ain't gonna have much to Twitch. Ain't nobody gonna watch him play.
Good
He
point.
not gonna be on TV no more. So it's probably why he's doing this now, because he's like, I get this off now because when the
ain't nobody gonna know where I'm at. Like, oh yeah, Patrick Beverley. I forgot he was in the league.
This is why I wish he stayed in Memphis though, because you talking about that talk, we would have seen you 4 times a year now, because you in a division, but you,
That's a good point.
ran.
That's a good point.
But you ran, Patrick. You ran.
No. Send me over there. Like, I'm gonna play Luka 4 times.
You didn't want to stay in Memphis. Even though they got a bright future ahead of them, they got a lot of young pieces. They'll be very nice. It'd be nice to have veteran leadership in their locker room. But you ran.
And plus, he had a little saying at the end too. He was like, "Yeah, Luka did this and did that, but I'm still gonna get on his ass." Like, okay. Just can't
don't worry about it. When do the Mavs play?
You just don't learn, do you?
Second, guys. Mavs versus Timberwolves.
Yeah, look that up, bro. Because listen, bro, you was doing good to that last little piece. And
it's you couldn't just let it rock, but no.
Really? Okay. Luka sitting at home like, okay. Now Luka is like that Jordan meme that been going around from the documentary. He's sitting there looking at that tablet and started laughing.
I took that personally.
Yeah, that's Luka.
December 19th. Oh, they got a home. December 19th and December 21st. So you finna get it twice in 2 days?
Bro, Merry Christmas, bro. You about to get that whooping for Christmas, bro. That's your present.
You asked for it, though, so congratulations.
But yeah, that's gonna probably do it. If you got it, let's see, I got anything else I want to add? Anything else?
Good luck, KP.
Yeah.
Well, and also, real quick, I'm just gonna say, like, people are gonna be mad about this, but they shouldn't be mad about it. Like,
I'm mad.
If you saw what we saw in that series, if you KP, you should be mad. You should be mad that that's how you were treated. You should be mad that they put you in a corner and said, just go stand over there. So you know what? If Rick Carlisle was still here, I can understand why he wanted to leave. But now he said, you know what? I did want to go, but now we got a new regime in. I'm ready to reset everything and start over from scratch. Let that man live, bro.
Let me ask you a question. We talk about, has Jason Kidd learned coming, what he learned coming here? Y'all think Rick Carlisle learned going to Indiana? I don't think he did either. He's gonna still be the same coach. Well, I won a championship, so I'm gonna do it my way regardless. No matter the times changing, he don't care about none of that.
He got more skin on the wall in Indiana because now they feel like they let him go and he got better. So they're gonna be like, yo, we got an opportunity to get somebody here and win a championship. Like they're gonna allow him to do him over there. So like you said earlier in the video, sorry, DeMontis Sabonis.
DeMontis, come on over here to Dallas, man. Come on over here to Dallas, bro. Jesus. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. I'd like to thank y'all guys for rocking with us. The trio's back on the We Talk Mavs show. I should say show. I was gonna say channel. It's not the channel. This is the Glow Sun Sports channel. It's the We Talk Mavs show. Guys, look, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below on any of the topics that we hit. How y'all feel about the whole KP thing? How do y'all feel about Jason Kidd? What do y'all think they should do with the whole Dirk ceremony and the retirement jersey and the statue? Just go ahead and comment down below. And how y'all feel about finally getting the news that Bob is gone? Thank God. How do y'all feel about that? Go ahead and comment down below. And we gotta thank our subscribers and our followers and the people who watch the videos, man, for the support. We see the numbers are starting to climb up. We just ask that you guys share these videos and like and comment, do all the things to help us grow our channel, guys. Our next goal is to get to our first 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there, and we're slowly but surely gonna get there. But with that being said, guys, it is your boy Real. I got my kinfolk Will. I got my boy Jay. We Talk Mavs. We'll catch y'all guys here again soon.